is now Mbadiwe. I'm going to start from here now. All right, let's start from here. One will note here that Chief Obafemi Awolowo attended all the sessions of the National Rebirth Committee and participated fully. In one of his motions in the committee, he moved for the dissolution of both the Nigerian Youth Movement and the NCNC and suggested the establishment of a new political party. This motion was, however, rejected. Meanwhile, Chief Gogo Abe, journalist at Aba, who attended the National Rebirth Committee meeting, had, in an article published in the Daily Times of March 26, 1951, a date to the National Rebirth Conference captioned "Towards Nigerian Unity, Who is Right, HOD or Awolowo?" brought out forcefully the philosophy of Chief Awolowo towards Nigerian unity. It contradicted the principle behind his motion for a fresh new party. This was contained in a lecture Chief Awolowo gave to members of Egwem Oduduwa at Aba. According to Chief Gogo Abe, quote, "Awolowo's opinion is that advocating mass unity..." I'm going somewhere. I'll first read the nonsense they have to say, then I'll read the real thing. Nonsense. But you'll soon see the truth. Let's just continue. Awolowo's opinion is that advocating mass unity for Nigeria is mere dissipation of energy and would entail many years of futile toil. The easier way is to start from the bottom, for Nigerian leaders to educate the peoples of their respective tribes into the real meaning and practice of unity. In other words, Awolowo wants Zik, Nwafor-Rizu, Ojike, Mbadiwe, and others of the noble band to see to it that all Igbos are taught to appreciate fully their common stock and interest, while he, Davis, Maja, Rotimi Williams, and the Yoruba colleagues will see to it that the Ijebu man who settles in Ibadan is made to feel thoroughly complete at home. The same must apply to other tribes. When these tribes begin to enjoy the benefits of united action, which assuredly must result, they will by themselves begin to aspire to greater benefit of countrywide unity. That, according to Awolowo, is the bottom medium of achieving national unity. Awolowo's bottom medium is miserable mediocrity and vulgar half measure. If unity must be achieved, it must be countrywide. This is why I said it is nonsense. You know, like I say, I respect people, but once you say Awolowo's work is miserable mediocrity, it means what you are saying is also nonsense. So if you don't know why I said nonsense earlier, that's why. I was preempting I read it before, so let me explain what's happening. I was telling them in the 1950s, guys, let's do this thing based on our ethnic identities, like ethnic spaces or linguistic spaces. So I'm Yoruba. Let Yoruba people teach Yoruba people about governance within Yoruba land, and then have your structure in that space. You Igbo do the same thing. Now, this is what he described Awolowo's idea as. He calls it miserable mediocrity and vulgar half measure. If unity must be achieved, it must be countrywide. You know the crazy thing about those who are always looking for Nigerian unity? They've been looking for it since the 1950s. They have not gotten it. I don't think they will ever get it the way they are doing. You know why? They don't have unity at home. So the idea is somebody is saying, well, let's do something here, you do it there. Imagine they listened back in the day. And this is why I said, if there's anything I'm really trying to hammer at in this series, really, is to just put it in our heads that regardless of sovereignty, we are all nations. We are a nation. So when Awolowo says, let's do this thing amongst us as nations, and this one calls it's a mediocrity, you begin to understand what this was all about. He says, if there must be unity, it must be countrywide. That unity, have we gotten it today? You cannot get it. Why? We are not the same people. And a sensible person who understands, who has a mindset of a city state, or who has a city building mindset, would understand that you have to break a big stuff. Like if you have a big pie, you have to break it into, let's say you have an organization. Anybody here, if you have an organization, you want to administer, you want to create structure for that organization, you cannot control everything from the center, from the top. You have to devolve. You have to give powers to others so that they can do it at different levels, and then you can all win together. So if, for instance, you have something, let's say you have a hand to deal with, you look for somebody to head this one, somebody head this one, head this one, head this one, head this one. Each of them each of them focuses on their own bit, and then somebody else takes care of the palm. And then by the time everybody wins, the hand has won. But what they want to do is that want to put the hand together from the beginning, and want to, make sure everybody wins at the same time. Why don't you have enough common sense? You're also break this thing down. And the person who tells you to break it down and grow from there is the one who is mediocre. But you want to steal what belongs to other people. You're the one who has the great mindset. And I'm saying steal for a reason. There was a plan before this meeting to take over different parts of Nigeria. And it was a plan by the Igbo State Union. I already read part of it the other day. Let's continue. So it says Awolowo's stuff was, that according to Awolowo is the bottom medium of achieving national unity. Awolowo's bottom, by the way, he did not write this book until Awolowo died. So much for a bold person. If you're going to see all these things, the one that Awo wrote, he wrote in 1960, Azikiwe was alive. The one that Bola Ige wrote, he wrote in 94, Azikiwe was alive. The ones that these ones will write, they'll make sure that everybody with the one you saw don't die finish. They'll come, they talk, like I said, they're not waiting, they talk. Chief Awolowo was not convinced. Sorry, let me finish what he even said. It says, Awolowo's bottom medium is miserable mediocrity and vulgar half measure. If unity must be achieved, it must be countrywide. Chief Awolowo was not convinced that Nigerian leaders were serious. If political leadership would mean anything in Nigeria, it must be a full-time affair, he insisted. He forgot that a political party of people with a common ideology can have that cementing influence that is essential to unity. In other words, that the Igbo, Efik, Yoruba, Ijo, and Hausa who belong to the same school of political thought could be more united than members of the same tribe who have different political views. Chief Awolowo announced the formation of his action group based upon his Egbe Omoduduwa doctrine. The doctrine became an important development in Nigerian political scene at the time when we were ushering the new Macpherson constitution. Well, let's start with this. The idea that you can be from different ethnic groups and have the same political philosophy, is it true? Yes, absolutely. But this is what I have noticed in Nigerian politics. The people who say this thing, who get Yoruba people, especially in the name of we have the same school of thought, to join that organization, always use that organization to lift their own tribe. And I'm using the word tribe intentionally, not even ethnic group, because they have a tribal mindset. That's why they always call everybody tribalist. That's really what happens. So you'll be told that we are all doing something for Nigeria. It's a nationalist organization. It's all about the country. Only for you to discover that everything the person is doing it because of his own ethnic group. The joke is on you. That's why I don't believe in it. Why? Because at the end of the day, from what I have seen, those who canvass for one Nigeria, I mean, I believe in one Nigeria, apparently. But I think that the growth of Nigeria is based on the growth of its constituent units. It's not just going to grow like that. It's going to grow in bits because it's too big. Nigeria is big. That's why unitary system would make sense to a person like this, but federal system would make sense to a person like Hawo. Nigeria is not your village that one person can just lead and, something happens to your road, you call the president. Something happens to agriculture, you call the president. Education, you call the president. Health, nobody knows anybody in charge of anything. Everything just president. You can't grow a nation like that.